Imagine waking up tomorrow and mosquitoes are gone, completely gone. No buzzing in your ear at night, no itchy bites on your arms, no swatting the air during summer evenings. At first, the world celebrates. Headlines declare that humanity has finally won the war against mosquitoes. Children play outside at dusk without running indoors. Campers sit peacefully beside lakes. Backyards suddenly feel quieter. For a moment, it seems like the perfect victory. But then scientists begin noticing something strange. Small changes, quiet changes. Changes most people would never notice. And they begin only days after the mosquitoes disappear. Day 10, the missing cleanup crew. In wetlands, ponds, and marshes, researchers start observing something unusual. Mosquitoes don't begin their lives flying through the air. They start underwater. Mosquito larvae live in ponds, puddles, and slow-moving water, where they spend their time feeding on microscopic organic material, bacteria, and algae. In other words, they help filter the water. Every day, millions of tiny larvae act like miniature recycling machines. They break down organic debris and help keep small aquatic ecosystems balanced. But now those larvae are gone, and the effects begin to show. Water in shallow ponds becomes murkier. Organic debris starts accumulating faster. Microbial populations shift. Some wetlands begin to stagnate sooner than usual. It's not the end of the world, but across thousands of small water habitats, one tiny cleaning system has quietly vanished. Day 30, dinner is missing. A month later, the changes move into the sky. Mosquitoes may be annoying to humans, but to many animals, they are dinner. A lot of dinner. Many species evolved to rely on mosquito swarms as a dependable food source, including dragonflies, bats, frogs, fish, and birds like swallows. In northern regions during summer, mosquitoes hatch in massive numbers. For migratory birds raising chicks, these swarms provide an enormous supply of protein. But now, the swarms never arrive. A swallow glides over a marsh at sunset. Its nestlings wait for food. But the parent must now fly farther and hunt longer to find enough insects. Some animals adapt and switch diets. Others struggle. Because when one piece disappears from the food web, the ripple spreads outward. Day 60, quiet flowers. 2 months later, botanists discover something even more surprising. Most people think mosquitoes survive by drinking blood, but that's not actually true. Both male and female mosquitoes mostly feed on nectar. And when they visit flowers, they do something important. They pollinate plants. As they move between flowers collecting nectar, pollen sticks to their bodies and travels with them. In some ecosystems, mosquitoes help pollinate orchids, Arctic flowers, and certain wetland plants. One well-known example is an orchid species that relies heavily on mosquito visits for pollination. Without mosquitoes flying at dawn and dusk, some plants begin producing fewer seeds. The flowers still bloom, but fewer of them successfully reproduce. Nature notices the absence. Day 90, the scientific debate. 3 months after the disappearance, scientists gathered to discuss the results. They expected dramatic consequences, but the reality is more complicated. The planet would not collapse without mosquitoes. Forests would not vanish. Oceans would not change. But ecosystems would shift, slowly, subtly. Because mosquitoes actually play several roles in nature. Their larvae recycle nutrients in water. They feed thousands of animals, and they pollinate certain plants. Individually, these roles may seem small, but together they form threads in a much larger ecological web. The final twist. At the end of the conference, a scientist shows one final slide. There are about 3,700 mosquito species in the world, and only a small fraction bite humans. Most of the species that disappeared yesterday never bothered people at all. They were simply quiet workers in wetlands, forests, and tundra, recycling nutrients, feeding wildlife, and pollinating flowers. That night, the world is still blissfully mosquito-free. But somewhere in a northern marsh, a flower waits for a pollinator that will never arrive. And a pond slowly grows murkier without its tiny wriggling cleaners. Because in nature, even the most hated creatures often have a purpose. And when something disappears, Nature always notices.